Well, now that hopefully you have Google Analytics set up for goal tracking, conversion tracking, now it's time to go conversion hunting. So now we're on the lookout for conversions to get some data. So the first thing is always remember what I said earlier in this course. This is one of the most important marketing principles you can live by when it comes to digital marketing and growing your business. And that's the concept that I call sacrificing early profits. In the beginning, you can't be so worried about generating a profit. You want to get the data so you can build a machine of repeatable profits over time. So it's no exception with buying media. You may lose a little bit of money up front, and you can't worry about that, especially if you're starting small, because you want to get the data. You want to get the metrics, you want to get the conversions, you want to see what's working and what's not, so then you can dial it up and maximize your profits. You want to test different ads and sources to find these conversions. All ad networks aren't the same. All demographic controls aren't the same. All vertical categories you can pick from when running these ads aren't the same. And so you're going to find a lot of different results when you try different ad networks. You'll see different things. There may be an ad network where you spend $1 and get back $3 for every dollar you spend, using certain age ranges and certain demographics, and then you may use the same exact settings for another network, but you lose money. So you got to be testing not only different ads themselves, but also different traffic sources to find these conversions, and then of course to build scalable campaigns around them. You want to isolate conversions down to website level. What I mean by that is these networks are made up of a bunch of different websites that are running the ads on their site. And these networks just sell en masse ads that will run across all the different sites in their network, at least for those settings, those categories, those demographics, those interests. But you want to figure out where the conversions are coming from when you advertise with these networks, down to each individual website that's producing the conversions. Now, there's a reason for this. And that is, once you do that, your ultimate goal is to do direct deals with the websites themselves that are sending you conversions. So let's say you sell a real estate investing course and you're running ads across an ad network, and your ads are being shown on hundreds of different sites, but you're consistently getting some conversions from one specific website. Maybe it's related to home improvement or something else. But you'll be able to look in your Google Analytics data for your referring sites, and you'll be able to see which sites are sending the conversions. Now, I do have to add, this isn't always the case, because sometimes these ad networks use tricks where they can kind of mask the sites that sent the traffic, or they're using their own domain on kind of a special framed redirect and other things. But a lot of times you can see the website that's sending the conversions, and there are other ways to get around that. But you basically ultimately want to do direct deals with websites that are proven to send you conversions. So when I say direct deals, we're going to talk more about sponsorships in particular and what that means and what that entails. But even just a direct deal where if they show one of those 300 by 250 square ads on the sidebar of, let's say, their blog, and that's where your ads have been showing and where you're getting clicks and ultimately where your conversions are coming from, then you can do a deal with them to buy the ad space direct. You have to understand that publishers, these are website owners, they're giving up a cut of whatever the ad sells for to the ad network. Sometimes it can be 50%. So they're making much less than the retail price for what it's being sold for. So a lot of times you can kind of share some of the difference there by negotiating a lower rate directly, and then you both win because they make more profit because they don't have to pay the ad network's cut, and you make more profit because you're paying less per visitor by going direct. You want to pay attention to conversion times and also demographics. If you find that you're getting most of your conversions during the day Eastern Standard Time, you can do day parting, which is the concept of controlling your ads and only serving them at certain times. You're going to want to do this with Google AdWords ads. You're going to want to do this with Facebook ads, but you can also do it with many of these ad networks. You have to check and see, but many of them do have what's called day parting controls and settings. And that's when you can only serve your ads. You can set to only serve them from noon to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you don't want them to be shown at any other time because that's where the bulk of your profitable conversions come from. Well, you can do that with many of these networks. So you got to pay attention to your conversions and see when they actually occur. If you're using any kind of shopping cart service, One Shopping Cart, Infusionsoft, anything like that, they're typically date time stamped on each sale that's recorded in your shopping cart, so you can see the time and you can figure out exactly when it happened. Now, if you find that your sales conversions are happening equally all throughout the day, some at night internationally, in other markets, some during the day, pretty even, then you don't have to worry about day parting. But most businesses will see some patterns that kind of form where, playing the 80-20 rule, you'll find that 80% of your sales are coming from 20% of a certain time frame. And so you want to eliminate all those other time frames and only run your ads during that part that produces the most sales. You'll want to use separate pages for each campaign. So if you're driving traffic to, let's say, a landing page, to build opt-ins, even if it's the same landing page exactly, I recommend that you duplicate it, just copy and paste, create a new version of that page and put it on a new URL, your domain / opt-in 1, opt-in 2, opt-in 3, however you want to name it, but do a different page. There are multiple reasons for this. You'll really keep your statistics separate. You can then do split testing separately based on campaigns. You can't do that if you're sending everything through one landing page. See, if you send everything through one opt-in form, Google Analytics will track the goals, the opt-ins, for all the different campaigns you ever run, from different campaign sources, from different AdWords, from different Facebook ads. It'll keep track of the count, essentially, how many, this one got 5 opt-ins, this ad created 15. So it will track those for each different traffic source. However, you lose the ability to control split testing different landing pages based on traffic sources, making different changes based on traffic sources. And one of the secrets that you'll learn when we get to AdWords is that you can take an ad with targeting one single keyword that converts really well, and you can send it to 2 different landing pages and alternate those landing pages on the same keyword in order to increase your quality score, maximize your conversions, and that will just make you more money. So you want the control, you want as much control as possible. More control, or control you may never use, is always better than not enough control. You never want to be stuck with not enough control. So I recommend anytime you run a campaign, especially if you're spending money, set up all new pages just for the campaign. So even if you're sending them to a landing page that sells one of your products, which then links to your order form, use a separate page for that product, because you'll be able to track all kinds of things about that specific page. For example, you'll be able to monitor your bounce rates by campaign, by specific page. So you may find, well, here's what you'll find. I'll tell you right now what you're going to find. All traffic is just different. Even if it's on the same ad network, the traffic that comes from different areas is different. People are just of different buying groups. They have different intentions. They're just different. So you'll find that people will be happier landing on a certain landing page that's exactly the same than as another page, where the bounce rate will be higher on one than the other, even though it's the exact same page, but it's because of their different ad copy or it's different ad sources. So you want to separate and have different pages for each campaign. I think it's very, very critical. Last but not least, I've said this before, but how much you pay makes all the difference. So the less you can pay, and I'm going to teach you how to negotiate, is the difference between success and failure when you're buying media, buying ads to be served across different sites and across different networks. So we always have to stay conscious of what we pay, and of course optimize that so we can maximize the profit that comes from any traffic source or any individual campaign or any individual ad. That's the name of the game. The lower we can average out what you pay per visitor, the more money we make in your business in profit. So anything we do, AdWords, Facebook, social media campaigns, SEO, or buying media, we need to be conscious of how much it costs and how we can optimize that to make more profit.